So today's video is all about me answering your questions. Personal opinion, that's what it means. That's a really good question. Yeah. The perfect intensive 3-year program person is a Let's get all cozy and hang out, shall we? Hi, welcome back to another episode of my midlife student life. Today we're gonna do Q&A. So I am currently a 4th year student who is attending the Canadian Academy of Osteopathy in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Let's get into these questions. And a lot of the stuff you guys are asking is like, how do I think you are going to do in the program? Which is a very personalized answer because I don't know you. But I'll do my best to try and answer some of these questions with generalizations and hope that you can apply them to your situation. Question number 1. Hi, I am not from a healthcare background and I believe that you were in the same boat when you applied. Yes, that's true. Would you mind giving me a bit of an inside look at what to expect and how to increase my chances of getting accepted into the program? Okay, to answer this one, let's actually begin by having a look at the current school website. And the date of this is May of 2025. So this is the current admissions prerequisites, but they may change in the future. So please just refer to whatever the current syllabus says. So on here, you're gonna see some videos with testimonies from people who have had health science backgrounds, healthcare professional backgrounds, and then the one that I fell into, which was the limited or no healthcare experience. So currently on the website, you'll see it says minimum eligibility admission requirements. Includes in this first section, you need to have one of these, which is either a full or partial diploma, advanced diploma, or bachelor's degree in a healthcare discipline. Honestly, you need to have anatomy, and whether you are someone even with a 4-year degree or a master's degree in a healthcare background, or you've been working in a healthcare profession, you are going to need to know your anatomy inside out and backwards. In addition to that, you have 3 other requirements currently that you need to attend a mandatory admissions webinar, an interview to assess suitability for both you if you're going into the intensive program or the regular program, and you have to complete the prep course, and that just gets you step 1 into the program. It's interesting that you pose the question about how you can increase your chances. School is set up such that they are looking for individuals who are going to become successful osteopathic manual practitioners. They want people who are going to be good for osteopathy, but then they also want people who osteopathy is going to be good for them. And that's one of the things I love about this school is they give everybody an equal opportunity, not just people who are fantastic in academics, and test really well on paper, but people who want to learn, people who are really good with hands-on work and have the personality and the characters needed to be successful in professional practice. Now, the second part of that question was, would you mind giving me a bit of an inside look at to what to expect? That's a really general question. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you will have an idea of what to expect. I travel a lot because I do not live close to the school. So that's part of my piece. I would suggest living closer to the school, moving either into Hamilton or somewhere within about a 45 to 60 minute drive from the school would be just like absolutely perfect if you can manage that. What you expect in any situation is only relevant to what your previous experiences are. If you don't have a healthcare background, you can expect to work a little bit extra hard. For instance, some of my classmates, I've heard them say that, year 1, even maybe into year 2, their previous degree in kinesiology, their previous experience as massage therapists, their previous education, set them up for that background in anatomy and physiology. But the discussion about what is a trapezius muscle, and what is the insertion of the psoas was not new to them. It was review. Where for me, it was the first time I heard anyone say something like trapezius. I'm pretty sure it was like my first or second in-person class, and they had everyone, okay, we're gonna take the arm. We wanna start by assessing the SC joint. And I remember being like, an SC joint? What is the SC joint? This is an acronym I am not familiar with. I felt like saying, just give me a couple bones and I'll figure out where they are in the body, and I had to ask one of the helpers at the time. I'm like, what are we looking for? And she showed me right here, sternoclavicular. I'm thinking, well, if they said that, I could have figured out where it was on the body. Again, I didn't have any hands-on background. I had never touched a body from a therapeutic perspective until my very first MOPP class, my first lab class. And many of my classmates had dealt with bodies before from a therapeutic perspective. Some of them are all massage therapists, so they've handled thousands of bodies before. And I was like, how do I even engage and interact with tissue? I was learning this for the first time. Felt like I was already behind in the very first class. But fortunately, I had some amazing people come alongside me and really help support me from my class. And yeah, you just have to do the work, So when there's things you don't understand, you have to ask questions. That's something anyone watching from my class will know. I talk a lot. I'm not shy to ask questions, and I'm okay if I'm the one saying, what's an SC joint? When everyone else is like, yeah, the sternoclavicular joint. Why don't you know this? Hello. But yeah, all that to say, you're going to have to work really hard. It's not going to be easy. And what to expect from the rest of the experience? CAO, change always occurs. That's what it means. And what I mean by that is the program itself is always shifting and augmenting. So as a whole, there's modifications that are made as the school grows. Where was I going with this? Sometimes I wish you were actually here talking to me so you could remind me what I was thinking about. Oh yeah, the inside look. There's a lot of self-directed learning. So there's a lot of assigned readings that you need to you're responsible for content, meaning you have to not only read it, but kind of self-teach it. They really want you to be familiar with all of the content in order to apply it. Really, your school experience is about the application of the information and looking at it from an osteopathic perspective, but you have to show up and know it. So all of the anatomy, your MSK, your naval, the history of the program, the principles, you need to know these things, and you do have to kind of teach yourself. One of the best things though is you're going to get an upper year tutor. So once you're in year 1, you can get a tutor in year 2, 3, or 4, like an upper year, and you can have multiple tutors, and you can have different ones every year that are going to help you learn to speak the osteopathic language and help to make sense of sort of your school experience. Okay, another question. This one was actually asked as a comment on the channel. So let's take a look here. Hi, Jennifer. I'm curious what your thoughts are on the 3-year accelerated program being offered at the CAO this September. How manageable do you think it would be to compare to the usual 4-year program that you're currently going through? I've heard the clinical portion of year 1, which is the 3rd semester, would be happening at the same time during semesters 1 and 2 with the 3-year program. That's correct. I hear the program is already quite a handful. Yes, it is. Let me know what you think. Cheers. Okay, thank you for the question, because I don't know a lot about the program. I know about as much as you do, and that there's now going to be a 3-year option intensive program instead of what I did in 4 years. If you're someone, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, if you're someone where you've got this background of hands-on manual therapy, or you've done some other 4-year program plus in specifically anatomy and physiology, and you want to go into that intensive program, I think it's totally doable. I would caveat though that you probably are not going to be working like outside of this program. If you are, likely part-time. You would have to be absolutely superhuman, I think, to work full-time and be in the intensive program. I'm not sure, unless you were self-employed, I can't even think of what kind of job you could do, because you would really hardly have any time. If you look at a month, 4 weeks in the month, you're going to be a full week, all 5 days in your regular classes. And then you have some asynchronous classes that you're going to do in the second week. So you've already got 2 weeks of your month taken up. Now that third week, you're going to be in clinicals, which is kind of like that third semester. And that's, I don't know if that's 3 days still a week or more. So that's almost like another third week gone. So now all of a sudden, unless you're working, I don't even know how you can work mornings and evenings. Honestly, these are 8 to 10 hour days. And then you also have aux hours. Don't forget, people, about these aux hours. Sometimes those get kind of, oh yes, you need 300 aux hours to graduate. Yeah, what that means is you have to sign up for backup body shifts. You have to sign up and volunteer for student council run events, or there's a number of ways of getting aux hours, but you have to show up to do that on those other days in that like fourth week that I was just pointing to. So all of a sudden you're gonna have like a full month, and that's not even including the fact that you have to actually read the material and study and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the program was a lot. I worked part-time and I traveled, and traveling took a lot of time and energy. Also, don't forget, I mean, when you're booking your days in, depending on what kind of energy level you have, how athletic you are, and how young and how many hours of sleep you need. I'm like an 8-9 hour sleep a night girl, okay? In my opinion, the perfect intensive 3-year program person is a full-time student. They're single, so they have all of the energy and full-time and great health, mental health and physical health, to be practiced upon regularly. Don't forget about that. When you go to lab, you're being practiced upon. Watch any of my clinic videos or my like lab videos. You will often see me go into school very happy and chatty, and I come out at the end of the day and I'm like, the reason is because when you're being treated a lot, you know, over treated, if you will, you're exhausted physically from the treatments. So if you, back to my little 4 week here, if in week 1, you're getting treated 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week, and then you're going to do asynchronous, you got mental work to do, and then you're going to be maybe back in clinics getting treated again, and then you have backup body shifts where you're going to be treated again. That's a lot of treatment. You're going to want to make sure you have an osteo. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is making me have anxiety. Okay, so maybe this is not a good promo video for the intensive program, but I could see it happening. And maybe you are, on the other hand, somebody who has a family, you know, you're in a family situation and you need to sort of have a quick turnaround. You don't have 4 years to put in from a length time. You need to just kind of get back to work, and you want to make it happen. You want to be more focused. Well, yeah, then 3 years, just put it all in and get it done. The other thing you have to remember is the financial piece. I believe you do not get financial assistance for this 3-year program. So you better be financially ready to support yourself and your lifestyle because you can, like I said, maybe only work part-time at most, and you have to pay for your tuition all out of pocket without, you know, you can get personal loans and stuff like that. But just be aware of sort of that pro con and be ready to go all in. I think there's a certain personality that also would go into this 3-year program. I feel like there's a certain person who is extremely motivated, self-disciplined, a self-starter, self-learner, probably learns things really quickly, can read a textbook and kind of like almost have a photographic memory type thing. I feel like there's a number of elements that would make you like a really good student. I'm going to totally Google that. That's a really good question. Okay, so according to Google AI answers, basically individuals best suited for these type of programs have strong cognitive abilities, analytical thinkers, problem-solving abilities. They're crucial for navigating challenges of accelerated learning. Individual character traits include people who are really organized, reliable, have a strong desire to achieve goals, and they are also more likely to be self-directed and enjoy taking initiative in their learning. These are kind of things I was just saying. Personality characteristics include open-mindedness, the ability to embrace new information, can also contribute to success in accelerated programs. So you're a fast learner. Personal opinion, I really think you also need to be in excellent physical health. I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of physical challenge to this program, and if you are not in excellent health, that 3-year intensive, I think, would be a lot. If you have any pre-existing health conditions, I'm not sure that program would be that easy for you. Just my thoughts. And last question for today, how can I better prepare myself for this program? One of the things you can do is you can purchase Complete Anatomy. There's an app, and this is not a paid promotion, by the way, for that app. Start playing around, clicking on things, figuring out what things are. Become familiar with anatomy. Any anatomy, whether it's like Ken Hub, I know there's all these different programs. Just review your anatomy. Looking back, I kind of wish that I had more of a solid foundation in my understanding of anatomy before I started the course. Even today, I'm actually redoing my anatomy courses from year 1, 2, and 3. That's part of my preparations for my year 4 exit that I'm doing for myself for the next couple of months. The other thing you can do is buy the works of Dr. Andrew Taylor Still, the founder of osteopathy, and be inspired. Here's a few of the books. So Philosophy and Mechanical Principles of Osteopathy by Dr. Andrew Taylor Still, Research and Practice, and Philosophy of Osteopathy. And I'm missing, what's my other one? Anyways, that's it. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments below. I really appreciate it. Happy to answer anything I can help if possible. And we'll go from there. Anyways, have a great week. Till next time, stay strong and dig on.